Hi and welcome to this section. Now that we have learned the basic commands of Git and all the configuration part, we move ahead with working with branches. So in Git, it is very important while understanding the concept of branches and working with branches. So I have listed some of the important factors why we want to work with the branches. Initially, when we have initialized our Git repositories, by default, it get initialized with a main branch. We have seen that. Now we'll be looking forward on creating a feature branch associated with a main branch so that it would be helpful for other developers to work with any kind of application code base. So I was saying these are all the important factors why we want to work with branches. The first one is isolation of changes. Here, branches allows developers to isolate their work on a specific feature or any kind of bug fixes. This is one of the important factors. Next would be parallel development. As I said, in our any kind of repositories, it may be the application code base or any kind of Git repositories we have in any kind of organization. Here there will be multiple developers associated and working with that repositories, not only a single person. Let's assume there are 10 developers who would be working on an application code base, and they would be working independently and isolately with their own branches instead of touching the main branch. So this would avoid the conflicts between any kind of development activities or any kind of bug fixes. This is one. Next is feature development. As I said, it is more the way with the parallel development only. For any kind of new feature addition with the application code base, developers create a new branch and then work parallelly on that feature creation branch, on the feature creation part. Next would be bug fixes. Similar to the feature development, if there are any kind of bugs identified in the main branch, and those should be and those cannot be fixed in the same main branch. So what developers does is they create feature like they create another branch just for fixing those bug fixes. Next, the code review. Here, branches facilitate code review process. Developers can create a new branch for the code changes, and other team or members can review the changes before any kind of merging happens to the main branch. Next would be release management. Here the main important concept of keeping a main branch or the up-to-date branch is for managing the release purposes. Here branches are often associated with any one of the releases. Here a release branch can be created to stabilize the code for a specific release while development continues to happen in the background in other feature branches. Next would be experimentation and prototyping. Here, as I said, developers work independently while working on any kind of feature development or bugs fixes. For experimentation purpose also, developers would be working independently without touching the main branch. Next would be rollback and hotfixes. If a problem is discovered after the changes have been merged into the main branch, here in the main branch, having a well-defined branch structure makes it very easier to identify the problem and roll back to the previous version. So this would be very useful identifying the problematic commits which have been done and fixing the issues in a very urgent priority. This is one of the reason. Next would be testing and continuous integration. This is more similar to this code review and bug fixes. Next would be code base organization. Here, branches contribute a very clean and organized database. The application code base. Here, each branch represents a specific set of changes, making it easier to understand the history of the code and roll back to a specific previous commit whenever it is needed. So usually it is very important and it is followed in any of the organization. So these were some of the important factors we want to know about working with branches. Next, I would move ahead with the experimentation practical part. I'll go back to the same repositories which we were using till now. This is the repositories. Let me open the Visual Studio. Here we have file 1, file A and file B. Let me open a terminal here to work with the git commands. Okay. Here, if you see, initially when we have created these repositories, we would be working by default on a main branch. To identify that, I'll just execute a command git branch. It says I'm pointing to main branch now because I only have the main branch and I don't have any other branches associated with this main. To create another branch associated with the main branch, we have a command git branch, git checkout hyphen b is something when we are using it to create a branch for the very first time. Hyphen b and the branch name. Let's say it has a feature branch. Feature 1. Now it says switch it to feature 1. But it also created feature 1 branch out of main branch for us because we have used this command here. Now again I'll execute the command git branch. It says we have two branches, main and feature, and currently the head is pointing to feature 1 branch. It can be also verified with the command git log. Here it says our latest commit and the latest head is pointing to both feature 1 and main branch because all the contents and the files are very similar to our feature as well as main branch currently because we haven't made any changes till now. Let me go back and create a new file here in the feature branch. Now I'm currently into feature branch. Let me verify that. You can also see it here in the Visual Studio, or you can verify it with the command git branch. I'm into feature 1 branch. Here what I'll do is I'll create one more file. Let me name it as branch.txt. It would be a txt file and add a content as this is an example of branch, working with branch. Saved it. I have saved it. What I'll do is now I'll add this branch.txt to it is currently untracked. Let me track these changes in my feature 1 branch. To do that, we have to execute the command git add. I'll simply say it as star. Enter. Now it has been tracked. Next, I'll commit the changes in my feature branch itself. Let me commit it. I'll say it as git commit -m would be our message, and in message I would say it as committed in feature branch. Done. Enter. I've committed and inserted a new file in my feature branch. Now, to switch back to my main branch, we have a command git checkout. We can just use the same command git checkout and don't mention b, just name it as main. It says switch it to main branch. Now if you have observed here, our branch.txt file has been vanished from here because these changes we have only made it in our main branch. We haven't made any changes, in the feature branch. We haven't made any changes in our main branch. So this has been vanished from our main branch. If I do check out to my feature branch again, let me check out to the feature branch. Feature 1 it is. See, the branch.txt has again appeared. So this is how we usually work on branches. Now to merge these changes to my main repo. Let's assume this was one of the feature which we have worked on other branch in the feature branch. Now we want to merge it back to the main branch. So how do we do that? Now currently I am in, sorry, in feature branch. To merge this changes of any changes in the feature branch to main branch, we want to go back to the main branch first. I'll just check out to main, and now to merge the changes of feature into main, we have a command git merge and mention the branch with which you want to merge it with. That is feature 1. Enter. Now it says branch.txt has been inserted. One file has changed and it has been inserted, which is branch.txt. Now if you observe, we are currently in our main branch and we also have our main branch.txt. So it also says it as fast forward. Let's discuss the type of merging in the next section. Hope you liked the video. Thank you.